Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Maria, and for today's video I'm going to be taking you through my entire physical TBR. Honestly, I just really want to take you through so you know which books I have. So yeah, I just wanted to take you through, and then I feel like you've got an idea and you can ask for different books you want to see me read. I feel like it's just a good idea to show you. It's also a good idea for me just so I know which ones I have, and so I can get through them and aim to get through this. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, like, subscribe, let me know, and let's just get straight into it. So the first book I have is City of Souls and Sinners by Kayla Edwards, which is book 2 in the House of Devils series. I've read City of Gods and Monsters at the beginning of this month, I think, or the end of last month, I can't remember, and I loved it. It was so good. I really enjoyed it, and honestly cannot wait to continue this series. I feel like this read is coming soon. I just don't really have time for a long book like this at the moment. I want to dedicate myself to this so I have as much focus on this rather than other things, and at the moment I don't have time for a 700+ page book, especially when you look at the text. It's a lot smaller than in the first book. Then we have one of my most recent editions, Releasing 10 by Chloe Walsh. I'm terrified to go into this. I have not picked it up yet because I'm in the middle of a different book, and I'm just terrified to go into this. I don't love Lizzie and I don't love Hughie. I've seen so many people saying this changes their opinions on them, but I'm sorry, Hughie's a cheater. Hughie's a cheater, and that's something that in my opinion is irredeemable. I don't hate Lizzie. I just feel like I can't accept and move past my view on how she's treated other people, because the way she's treated Gibbsy, her closest friends, and Claire, just for being friends with Gibbsy. I do want to understand her story, but at the same time I'm terrified because I've heard that it's very graphic. I'm mainly scared that this is going to make people feel sorry for her and then disregard Gibbsy and everything he's been through. I've already seen someone say something about Gibbsy, and I just think, like, come on, they're all children. Then I have Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. I've read the first 3 books in the Mortal Instruments series, so I'm going into the Infernal Devices trilogy next. I'm really excited. I've heard so many good things about this series. I love Cassandra Clare's writing. Then we have Beg, Borrow, Steal by Sarah Adams, which is the 3rd book in the When in Rome series. I've not yet read Practice Makes Perfect. I don't know if I'm going to read the series in order. Yeah, I'm very excited to read this book because I loved When in Rome. Also, this cover is so pretty. I actually cannot get over it. I just love, like, the colour coordination and everything. I think it's stunning. And then we have Foxglove by Adeline Grace, which is the 2nd book in the Belladonna series trilogy, which I am planning on reading very soon. I loved the first book. I just never got around to picking up the 2nd book. I then have Unsteady by Peyton Corin, which again I really want to pick up. I've heard so many good things about this book and this author in general, really. And I really am excited to read this. I just need to find a good time to pick this up. Then we have Nightfall by Penelope Douglas. This is the last book in the what's it called? The Devil's Night series. I'm really excited for Will and Emery's story, but I'm also terrified. Also, this is such a chunky book, and I don't like past now point of views, which these books are. I don't know why, it's just something I don't enjoy. Then I have A Reaper at the Gates by Sabaa Tahir, which is the 3rd book in the Ember Quartet series. I have loved the first 2 books. The first book was a 4.5, the 2nd book was a 4. So I don't know where this next one's going to go, but I am really excited. There are so many different potential storylines. So much has happened, so much has changed, and I just can't wait to see where that leads into. I then have Daisy Hates The Great Undoing, which, a moment for these covers. Me and Magnolia Parks have a long and twisted history. I do really want to continue this series. I really want to get to the next Magnolia Parks book, because the way Magnolia Parks The Long Way Home ended, actually criminal. But I definitely will be picking this up at some point soon. I have The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. Excited to go into this, and I find her stories very unique. I'm really excited to see what it's about, and I've heard very good things. So I'm excited to pick this up very soon. Again, this cover. Then I have Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. I have yet to pick this up even though it was released in January. This I haven't picked up yet because I wanted to reread both Fourth Wing and Iron Flame before going into it, and I just haven't found the time to actually do that yet, but I do think I'm going to reread them soon. Then I have Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I've read none of the other books in this world, but I do really want to get into her writing. I read The Friend Zone, didn't love that. I DNF'd it. I feel like the writing wasn't great, so I do want to give her another chance. I do have another book by her, but I don't know. If her writing is where it is in The Friend Zone, then I think it's quite almost young. It just took me out the story a bit, so I am hoping this one is a bit better. I then have Happy Place by Emily Henry, which again, bought for the cover. Why are America's books so much nicer? Again, not a fan of past and present point of views, so I'm kind of scared for this one. Then we have another recent edition, which is A Dawn of Onyx. I have heard so many good things about this, and I'm just really excited. The back sounds really good, and I'm just really intrigued by it. I feel like I've seen so much of it that I just really want to pick it up, and I think I will be picking it up very soon. I then have The Gilded Wolves, which has been on my physical TBR for so long. It's been far too long. I then have Glow, which is book 4, I think, in the Plated Prisoner series. I read Gild, Glint and Gleam at the end of last year into the beginning of this year. I really liked the first 2 books, and then Gleam kind of lost me. It felt very dragged out, very long. I'm not sure where the story's going. I don't know if it's like the story could have ended in the 3rd book or what. I've not heard great things after the 3rd book. I feel like the series kind of goes downhill from this book onwards. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about it, but I do want to pick it up to see where the story goes. I then have The Kingmaker by Kennedy Ryan. If you know me, I've read 2 books by Kennedy Ryan. All of them I've loved. Both of them I've loved. I read Longshot and Hookshot by her. I loved both of them. Longshot was a 5-star for me. It feels very difficult to rate that book just because it covers such deep topics. Hookshot was a 4.5. I do love Kennedy Ryan from those 2 books, and I cannot wait to read more books by her. Then I have The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. I read The Poppy War almost a year ago now. I'm terrified. Honestly, it's a chunky book and I'm terrified to see what happens. If you've read The Poppy War, I think you'd understand. It covers very deep topics. It's heavily inspired by the Second Sino-Japanese War. Check your trigger warnings if you're going to read The Poppy War, and honestly from that I'm terrified for this one. Even though I don't think it's quite as bad as the first book, it's still based on the same thing, so I am scared to go into this one. Then we have A Little Life. Need I say more? I pick it up thinking, yeah, this is going to be a 550 page book. Tell me why it's over 800 pages. And literally when I picked it up, a girl saw me holding it and she came over to me and was like, be prepared, be prepared. And I was like, oh my god, I know, I've seen. Honestly, the fact that someone in public came up to me and said to be prepared to read this. Then we have Holding the Reins. I've seen so much about this. I've heard good things. And honestly, I'm excited. I need more small town romance books. So this is hopefully going to be perfect for that when that's what I fancy. We then have Magnolia Park's Into the Dark. Terrified. So excited but so scared. Then we move on to the bottom shelf of my TBR cart, which you can just about not see. So I have Sunrise on the Reaping, which speaks for itself. I still have The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes to read before this. Tame Witch's Story. We have The Bell Witches by Lindsay Kelk. I honestly picked this up for the cover. I think it's so gorgeous. And I'm really intrigued by this. I really want to pick it up. I'm very excited to pick this up. And again, cover. Stunning. Then I have Great Big Beautiful Life, which luckily whilst I was in New York, I was there for the day this was released. So I bought it straight away. Oh my god. Oh my god! Minor interruption. Just wants attention, really. Don't ya? Don't ya? That's the girl who wants attention, I'm telling you now. Then I have Mother of Death and Dawn, which is the third and final book in the War of Lost Hearts trilogy. Then I have Jade City by Fonda Lee, which honestly I'm really excited to go into, although I feel like I need a lot of brain power for this, which is just kind of strange. I think it's because it's like quite a complex fantasy and it's not the type of fantasy I read often. I then have Indigo Bridge by Devney Perry, Winter's Promise by Christelle Dabos. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, apologies if I did. Yeah, I'm very excited to go into this. I've heard so many good things about it. It sounds so intriguing to me, so I am very excited to pick this up at some point. Then we have Nora Goes Off Script by Annabelle Monaghan. I've heard so many things about her writing, and honestly I'm very excited to try out some of her books. They're very short. I have the Happy Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez. This is the second book in the same sort of series as The Friend Zone, so I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about this. I'm really intrigued to go into it. I'm just hoping it's different to the first book. Then have Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. I've heard so many good things about it, and it was one of those book talk books when we were back in like 2020, 2022, and some present chapters don't do it for me. Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. We then have This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. This is the second book in the Skyland series. I haven't read the first book, but I do really want to. I only bought this one because it was like £3 in the works, so I thought I'd get it whilst I saw it. I'm very excited to read more by Kennedy Ryan. Again, love her. I feel like her romances go beyond just like surface level. They have deeper topics and they're always more emotional, and I love that. A Man Called Ove by Fredrik Backman. Just glancing at the writing of this, it doesn't really appeal to me, but the idea of Fredrik Backman's books do, and I really want to read Beartown. And also this, I got it in a charity shop for like £3, so I thought, why not? And I've heard such good things, it's got such amazing reviews that I need to try it. I'm not going to not try it because the writing isn't what I often pick up. So yeah, I'm very excited for this. Then down beside me I have a few more books that I've either started and not continued, or they're just more books in a series I can't fit onto my TBR cart. And I have By a Thread by Lucy Score. As you can see, this is one of the books I got in America, the American cover. I started this, got probably, like, actually that's what I've got left. I got a decent way the way through, and then they got together and I lost interest. So yeah, I'm probably going to listen to the rest of this. I don't know, there's something about Lucy Score's writing that kind of irks me sometimes. Like, she writes these characters quite childish. I feel like I tried to give her another chance with this one, but I don't know. Then we have These Violent Delights, The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, which I was reading. I don't generally read fiction. It takes me so much longer to actually read these because I don't find them as easy to get through. The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I will definitely be continuing this because I love this series so much. I have A Sky Beyond the Storm, which is the last book in the Ember Quartet series. Obviously, I have no problem picking this up soon. I just need to read the third book, The Death Cure, which is the third book in the Maze Runner trilogy. I actually started this in like 2023 and I just never finished it. I don't know why. I'm probably gonna listen to the rest of this because I don't know, I just don't feel the desire to actually pick it up. I love the Maze Runner. Then we have the other two books in the Infernal Devices trilogy, as well as the final 3 books in the Mortal Instruments series. We then have A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. I love this cover so much. I think it's so pretty. I do think I'm gonna listen to this one though, just because I do find some of Rebecca Ross's books a bit slow. 3 other Emily Henry books. We have People We Meet on Vacation, Beach Read and Funny Story. All again in the American covers. Are they not so much nicer than the UK covers? I cannot tell you how long I wanted this edition of Beach Read. Seriously, forever. My Dark Romeo by Parker S. Huntington and LJ Shen. If We Were Villains, heard so many good things. It's actually unbelievable. I'm so excited to pick this up. I just haven't got around to it yet. I also have Vow of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. I've had this for so long. Then we have Gold, which is the 5th book in the Plated Prisoner series. Again, You heard what I said before. King of Battle and Blood. Honestly, I don't know why I have this. This is so short. I think I could fly through this. The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I think I got this in the works at one point when it was like £2 or something. So yeah, I'm very excited to go into this. I've heard so many good things about Ashley Poston. I just haven't gotten around to picking this up. I really want to read The 7-Year Slip, and I feel like because I wanted to read The 7-Year Slip, I haven't gotten around to reading this, if that makes any sense. The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. Again, I don't really know what this is about. I think it's a YA, and I just got it in the charity shop for like £3. I think this would be good around Halloween time. Well, I've just seen it everywhere. We then have Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherland. Is the second book in the Emily Wilde's trilogy, I want to say. I listened to the first book and I actually really enjoyed the audiobook of it. I'm intrigued to see where it goes. Then we have Butcher and Blackbird. I don't know why I haven't picked it up, in all honesty. And we have The True Love Experiment by Christina Lauren. Again, don't think I've been in the mood for this since I bought it. Crank Palace, which obviously I'm just waiting to get through The Deaf Cure to read. This is Newt's book. I will read this at some point. I do just need to get through The Deaf Cure first. Then we have The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. I am going to listen to this. I don't have an interest in this book. I just want to read it so I can read Sunrise on the Reaping. I didn't love the movie. I don't think I'm going to love the book. The Atlas 6, I will give it a go because I've heard so many things about it. I just don't know again if Olivia Blake's writing is going to be for me. Okay, so Editing Me is going to put up a final total number of all the books I have on my physical TBR. Honestly, I'm saying it's around 70. It might be just over, it might be just under. I hope you enjoyed this video. That was every book I have on my physical TBR and I'm going to try get through them. Like I said, I want to get it down to around 20 by the end of the year. I think that's a realistic goal because if I read 10 books a month and we've got over 6 months left of the year, that's a realistic goal because then I won't have to read every single book as a physical book. I can still read some Kindle reads. I think that's realistic and I hope I manage it. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you very soon in the next one.